is Evie. Cute, right? Evie is number 4 in the line of my 4 little girls. She's outgoing, she's hilarious, she has the ability to wow any crowd she's standing in front of. She keeps us going all the time. But there's this interesting dynamic of being the 4th kid out of 4 kids. Any youngest kids out here right now? Yeah, sometimes it's hard. People are always telling you what to do, how to act. Get in line behind me, you can get your plate last. And surely you've never done anything first in your life. And so sometimes as the 4th kid, this sweet little baby has to figure out a moment to be in charge. Evie found herself in one of these moments a few weeks ago. Ironically, it wasn't with her sisters though. It was in a classroom full of preschoolers. You see, Evie is 5. And she attends preschool with some of her peers. On this day, Evie was standing over top of about 10 preschoolers who were sitting in front of her and listening attentively. I don't understand this gift she has. And as she is giving instructions this day, her teacher notices what's going on. And her teacher walks over to Evie and she whispers to Evie, she says, "Evie, why are you being so bossy to your friends?" And Evie, as confident as ever, looked up at her teacher and said, "I'm not bossy, I'm a leader." Yeah. And then and there, I found out what was important to my sweet Evie. Actually, I found out what was most important really to a lot of us. Why do we all want to be the leader? Why do we all want to be in charge? Have you ever thought about it? It's just in us, and really it's in us from an early age. You didn't grow up playing games like Follow the Follower. That would be dumb. No, you played games called Follow the Leader because you wanted to be the leader. You wanted to be able to turn around and look at people doing the same things as you. You played games like kickball on the schoolyard, actually on the playground where you spent most of your days. Sorry, Fresh Prince. But you played kickball. And you weren't interested in just being picked last or being picked for the team. You and I, we were interested in what? Picking the teams. Because if we didn't pick the teams, we were no longer held responsible for what the outcome of this game was going to be. It's just in us from an early age. We want to be in charge. And maybe you're sitting here and you're thinking, I've never wanted to lead anything. But I would tell you this, you've wanted to be in control of some things, haven't you? You've wanted to be in charge of some things. You've wanted to make some decisions, right? And I would just say those are different ways of saying, I want to be a leader. So why do we all want to be the leader? Maybe for you, the reason you want to be the leader, you want to be in charge is you can do what you want. Like finally, I can do what I want. I'm out of my parents' house. I'm an adult, I'm adulting, I can do what I want. And then you have kids and then you do what they want. What just happened here? You know, it's like something is wrong. But maybe the reason you want to be a leader is you not only can do what you want, you can do it when you want. And I can do it how I want, right? I can be first finally. I don't have to be 4th in the line of 4 girls. I can actually go first. I can make decisions. Who doesn't want to make decisions? That guy over there is not very smart. I don't want him making my decisions. I want to make my own decisions. I can be great, right? Maybe you thought, I want to be a leader because I want to be great. I want to be famous. I want to have status because ultimately if I have status, I can just continue to do all those things on the list. It's in us. It's been in me since an early age. In fact, I've spent the majority of my life trying to be a great leader. I remember as a kid, this is not a joke. As a kid, I stood in my bathroom and I looked into my blue eyes in that mirror and I sang a song that would forever mark my life. Thank you, Travis Tritt. Anybody else, 90s country? No? Okay, cool. But I stared in the mirror and I looked and I told myself that would mark me. I said this, I said, I'm gonna be somebody. No, anybody? One of these days I'm gonna break these chains. I'm gonna be somebody someday. You can bet your hard-earned dollar I will. And I believed it. And I believe it to this day. I was gonna be somebody. I was gonna stand on that stage like Travis Tritt, and people were gonna know me. But my version of being somebody was this. I was gonna do what I wanted, when I wanted. I was gonna be first. Who wants to be last, you know? I was gonna have status. People were gonna know me. I was gonna be the guy, the leader at all cost. I wanted to be the guy. And the funny thing is, you look at my life, and I actually look at my life now, and I think to myself, I kind of have those things. I have an office. I mean, I share it with somebody, but I have an office, you know? I have a team. Like, people value my opinion. They ask me my opinion. I get to make most of my decisions. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. People know me. I go to restaurants in the community and people come and talk to me and they call me by my name and then they leave the table and my kids look up and said, "Dad, you're so famous." And I'm like, let me take you to Alpharetta. I'll prove to you I'm not famous, you know? And then I stand on a stage like Travis Tritt. And they put the lights on me and they put my name on a big screen and I have arrived as a leader. And culture will bait you and tempt you that that's what leadership looks like. It's interesting. This guy named Paul had all of those things. He was a leader, he was sharp, he was educated, he was well-liked. People knew this guy. But he had a different thought on what leadership actually looked like. Here's what Paul said leadership was. He's talking to a crowd and he says, hey, those of us who are strong, so those of us who have position, those of us who lead, those of us who are strong and able in the faith need to step in and lend a hand to those who falter and not just do what's most convenient to us. Because what's most convenient for us? It's doing what we want, when we want, how we want. It's making decisions for yourself. That's what's most convenient for us as leaders. But then he says something really, really helpful. He says this, he says, strength is for service, not status. So I know you want these things and you want to climb up a ladder, but no longer do you look at leadership like that. Strength, position in your home, position at work, position in your neighborhood, on your HOA. It's for service, not for status. He continues, each one of us needs to look after the good of the people around us, asking ourselves, how can I help? Interesting. Paul would say, if you're living and breathing and moving, you have the ability to use who you are, where you are, for the benefit of others. So no longer would leadership be marked by how high I can climb up my ladder. No, leadership would now, in Paul's words, be marked by how high can I help other people get up their ladders. And what if today being for somebody is actually better than becoming somebody? What if your life now is measured by how much of it you gave away to the people around you rather than how high you could actually climb in the realm of leadership and status and fame and greatness? What if? Now, some of you are sitting in here and you're like, that sounds really good. I know some people who could listen to that, who need to start serving others, who have been selfish in leadership. Before you check out and think that may be for somebody else in the room, I want to tell you what Jesus did. You see, Jesus, this idea that Paul had wasn't actually new to him. Jesus had actually been modeling this for a long time. You see, Paul had an interaction with Jesus that changed everything, and so he started following the leader. He started becoming like Jesus. And so Jesus, if there ever were someone on the planet who didn't need to serve anyone, who had the status, who was the guy, the leader, the greatest, it was Jesus. But in a moment, we get to see what Jesus thought about leadership and position and status. You see, the night before Jesus went to the cross to be crucified, he had a conversation with his authority, with his Father, God. And here's how that went. He said, Father, if you are willing, please take this cup of suffering away from me. Yet, I want your will to be done and not mine. In a moment where Jesus could have chosen to do his own thing, to go at this whole thing a different manner, he got off his ladder and he elevated all of us up our ladders. You see, Jesus and Paul knew something that could benefit us all, that being for somebody is better than becoming somebody. You see, what great leaders do is they use their position to position other people. What great leaders do is they use their lives for the benefit of those around them. I had to learn this the hard way. So, sweet Evie, here's my advice to you, you pretty little girl. You're gonna be somebody someday. But don't you dare sacrifice the somebodies in your path in order to become somebody. And that's for your dad too. Thanks.